Chapter 5, The Aftermath. Uncle Tony was a big man and the eldest of my uncles. He'd been out searching for me as they all would have been. I wonder if any of them walked past my prison unaware of what was happening to me. As soon as he entered the house he was angry and went for me, for putting my family through the pain and worry of the past 2 days. My Nan stopped him in his tracks just by saying no, leave it. I still don't know what was said to this day. Who knew or didn't know? I was told it would be sorted and I was never to talk of it again. Of course that wasn't the end of it, how could it be? I'd been violated in the most horrible way a person could be and I was hurt and humiliated into the bargain. I think I'd have killed myself if I'd had the guts but I didn't. Nan was brilliant. I can't really say much else. She changed that day, even I could tell that. Of course there was much discussion about what had happened to me, but one thing that did change was that she always made sure where I was, and I had to let her know who I was with and what time I'd be in. 43 years has passed since I was raped and of course Nan's been gone many years now but I still miss her very much. She raised me as her own and did her very best to make my life as happy as could be and I'll miss her till the day I die. I learned to live with the atrocities I had been subjected to. Of course I never ever forgot and never really trusted many people again. I guess what happened to me probably affected me far more than I thought at the time, especially when it came to relationships. My first proper girlfriend for instance, didn't come along until after my 18th birthday and when it came to intimacy I must confess that I had no idea what was expected of me. I was never the same nice boy after that and had many run-ins with the law. I never forgot what happened, how could you? It was always there in my mind. I've relived and wished I could go back and stop it, but of course I can't so I just got on with life and hardened up. I had to. I know who my first abuser is. I know his name, where he lived and his school. He knew I wouldn't talk back then. He took me to Gleaves and showed me off like a piece of meat, window shopping. I know in many ways compared to people like Jason Swift and Martin Allen I was very lucky and those two boys have been a very big part of my recent life. Although they're not here they've inspired me to research pedophiles from all walks of life, politicians of whom there are so many, or the clergy who in my opinion are the biggest abusers of all and it doesn't matter what religion they belong to either. Rings were allowed to pop up at will, especially in London. It was the heart of the pedophile scene. Playland Amusement Arcade near Piccadilly was a main hive of activity back in the 70s. Charles Hornby, Malcolm Raywood, Abraham Jacobs and of course Gleaves were at these places, giving the kids money to play machines and getting them food. The consequences were always extreme and how many of those kids disappeared? Never to be seen again, maybe we will never know. I'm a grown man now and I've seen the devastating consequences of not only child abuse, but domestic abuse both physical and mental and the effects it has, not only on the victim but their children and their lives. If a small child grows up from a young age witnessing or being a victim of abuse then they are going to see it as being normal, so should we be so shocked at how many pedophiles and abusers there are in the world? You never forget your abuse and in lots of cases relive it. I live my life on the edge these days. I don't know from one day to the next if I'm going to be a strong activist trying to support other survivors or a complete train wreck not leaving my sofa cause I'm a frightened child still. On my good days I'm a warrior and I'll travel the country to support my friends. Friends talk to me on the phone for hours at a time to give me some peace in my crazy mind. I am sure I'd be dead now if it wasn't for some of them. If I could give advice to anyone it would be this. Firstly to victims of abuse, never keep this secret because you won't forget what happened and sharing with someone you trust will make you feel a floodgate has opened. Secondly this is for people who have been trusted with this information please believe what you are told as it has taken a lot for this person to confide in you. As hard as it may be to hear it, you could be this person's first and last chance to confide so you could be their lifeline.